Started the day a little bit late, but it's okay because it is about lunchtime. So I'm gonna take a little lunch break, hop on the charts, see where everything's going. Um, had some calls earlier this morning, Zoom calls and everything like that. So we got to get together and talk and discuss life and all this other stuff, fun things. Um, uh, community is nice. Um, you start trying to trade, and I hear it from a few of them, like a few who are profitable now, and that's like their day job. It's like if they don't have hobbies or something to do to reach out and actually touch people, or get involved with people, then trading ends up being being really boring, and um, and they end up becoming like a hermit, a recluse. And so you got to get out and about, you got to find things, and so um, people like Rocks and Nick and all these other profitable traders, ones that you see that they have a track record of being profitable and showing that they're profitable. Um, you can trust them whenever they come out. And one of the things that people talk about is like, well, if they can trade, why do they need to create these courses and all this other stuff? And generally, that's it. Is they, want the connection with people, especially of like mind, because you start a community of like minded or people who trade, and you all of a sudden have a like mindedness, and so you just gotta watch out for them. It's not one of those if you can't do teach sort of moments. There are some out there that have proven their track record, proven that they know what they're doing, and and you can trust that. So um, looking at uh, looking at the things that have gone off today, um, I did get into an odd USD trade. I closed one yesterday. It was already in profit. I don't think I made. I don't remember how much I made. Made a little bit. Um, yeah, so $4. It was a 1-to-1 trade. So let's clear that off there and keep the blanks. But I've actually gotten back into one here. We're on a daily level, daily high as it's come back in. We rejected that area there. I drew in my levels, realized it was just playing around this area here, had some rejection from the top, wasn't seeming to breaking any higher. And so I actually set a sell stop down here and then just waited for it to get triggered for me. Once it got triggered, I went ahead and placed where my stop loss is going to be. And so we'll see where this goes. Just looking for it to come, I don't know, somewhere about down here, down in this level here, where it would be if it's going to keep up with this uptrend, then it would come down here to retest someplace, and that'll be a nice solid 1-to-1. So we'll see how that goes. Um, so let's see. I was watching this, waiting for EuroCAD to fall. Come on down here so I can close out these guys. That would be nice. GUPCHF. At one point in time, we had this marked up as a possible 4-hour, 5-minute entry. I was waiting for price to get down to this level here and reject. This is the 4-hour candle close. So at that point in time, I wouldn't have even looked anyway. But we can see that it still did nothing. Actually closed bearish. So that was useless. It's two candle theory. It's just the idea that if this candle is bullish, the next candle is likely to be bullish as well. That did not happen. We might be getting that here in the next hour or so with this one. But we have to be careful because it looks like we are failing to break this new resistance here. So if it breaks and closes above this, um, that might be solid enough to look. So I'll add an alert on here, wait for it to close above this. If it doesn't, then it doesn't. And I don't have to worry about it. We've played enough in this area down here that I wouldn't even watch it anyway for another buy. This is a good possible setup for a sell up here on the 4-hour time frame. So I will mark that up, wait for a close into that, and then come back and look at it for a possible wick rejection, like something like this. Good wick rejections, and that way we can work with it. Yep, and then just wait for a close below this area. So that'd be GUPCHF. JPY was looking for this to break down. Was in a sell, edged it for a buy. Now I'm just waiting for price to come up into this area here. which is just a previous break and retest area where it could likely bounce. Management, once we get into this level, I'm not quite sure. In my head, I have closing the buy and getting into a sell. But I may just get into a sell, leave this hedge open, get into a sell with a hedge just, or with a buy stop just a little bit above this level. And if it pops back down to this level, I'll make enough to cover both of these and then some. So, but then if not, if I end up getting hedged for both, then the next level is way up here and we'll just wait for that. So that's the current plan. So leave that alone. CAD JPY. Don't know what I was doing here. I mean, I know I would be waiting for this as a rejection, but I don't. At 2 o'clock in the morning, is that when this hit? No. That does say 2. Why are you lying to me? Break of the trend line. Ah, okay, gotcha. It broke out of this trend line at 2. Okay, cool. That gives me that. And we'll get rid of that as well. So what is the current plan here? Well, it looks like I've already would have missed that, but didn't come up and test anyway, so that's fine. So then the next thing would be just wait. Come out to the daily, see what's going on here. We are in a downtrend. This could be the formation of a lower high. Go away. Formation of a lower high. We don't really have any sort of rejection from this area like we have in the past for the lower highs. So I'm not too keen on this being the thing. We'll have to see how basically this closes on the 4 hour. So I will mark this up just to see how price closes. If it closes within here. And then if not, I already have an alert up there for a possible sell anyway, because this is a pretty strong daily level. I'll probably clean this up a little bit. No, I won't. Yeah. When I use these parallel channels, understand that my zone is pretty much like there. The whole point of the zone being bigger for the alert is because I actually want a candle close. And so if I did it around things like that directly in my actual zone, things like these wouldn't trigger it because it didn't actually close within the zone. So that's the reason why I have a little bit bigger capturing these actual closing areas, and then a little bit above it just in case it actually closes above but wicks and has a nice strong wick, then it still might be valid. So that'll be that for CAD JPY. See where that's going. And then USD CAD. USD CAD has been bouncing in this area for quite some time. Nope. I think the current plan for this guy would be to wait till he breaks out and then comes back for an entry. A possible revisit up here would be nice, or a break out of that and then a breakup, probably to this area here. And I would use that as another level as well, as an area that price has been to before. So that'll be that. This will be that zone there. If price can get in there, and then we'll have to see how this breaks and closes below it. You know, a little small wick like this, nothing. So it would have to close pretty decent, probably with a nice little follow through before I actually look at it. So that is that one. GBP CHF looks like that was one that triggered on the 5-minute time frame. Let's go out to the 4 hour to see what I was looking for. So it looks like I was just waiting for a close above this area. Why that triggered it was a bar close. Yep. So why that was on the 5-minute bar close, I don't know, but it shouldn't have been. It should have been on the 4 hour because that would have been more feasible. So looking for, stop that, looking for a 4 hour on the 4 hour. There we go. Bar close above the 4 hour there. If we can get a 4 hour close above this, still got an hour on this. This would be nice. We'll see how that plays out. And then oh, there we go. Okay. So I think that covers everything right now. So yeah, that's where it's at. Can look at some of the trades that we're currently in. This is the NZD CHF trade. Been sitting for quite some time, way too long. Nothing's happened, unfortunately. So there's nothing I can do. Probably could have played off this high here if I would have thought about it ahead of time. Could have gotten into a trade there. Other than that, the only other place might be this low here for a possible bounce. But there's really nothing clean on the inside. Drop down to the 4 hour. We do have a level on the 4 hour. Didn't really break far enough beyond it. I would have liked to have broken this level before it came back and retested. You could be looking at this as like a head and shoulders pattern. I have to see how this closes in there, and then once again just drop down to the 5 minute, look for an entry. Might be able to get something like that. What would that look like overall? It would look like something like so. It would probably be on the open of the candle. Stop loss would be a little bit below of the area. And at this point in time, with all this strong movement down there, I'd probably come all the way down to actually the first solid resistance. There was a little bit of traffic here, which I'd have to watch out for, which would still bring it to a 1 to 2.5. So that's solid as well. That would get me out of this trade here with some profit. So depending on if I get an alert on this closures here, then I might look into that. Got an hour for that. Euro, JPY, waiting for price to get up there. We'll come back down, look for another entry. Euro CAD, slowly falling, waiting for it to come down here and get me out of these two trades with this one profitable. This one will be overall profitable considering all the other stuff that has happened in the past, good gracious, month and a half. It's back in December. Good gracious. Okay. JPY, same thing, looking for a possible entry up in here. I'll move this up a little bit higher. Could bounce here, might not. Really all depends. If I can just get a small bounce even back to this level for a break and retest, then that would be solid enough to get me out of there with a little bit of profit. We'll see how that plays out. If not, the far level way up here is the next likely place that we could get a bounce from. Odd USD. Odd USD, that was the one that I talked about earlier. So we're still in that one, seeing how that one plays out. GPJPY is not working out. We'll have to see how that goes. Got a hedge up there. It's just been stalling around this area. Could it bounce here? Yes. Let's have to watch that. Next levels will probably be up there, up here somewhere, with the higher level a little bit above that. So I'd have to watch that and see how it goes. That's a really long distance, so won't be happening anytime this week. Euro GBP is slowly falling. I'd like to see a lower low created. That would give at least 1-to-1 there. Changing my templates up again, make them thinner. Waiting for price to get up in here. Price did not move down as much as we would have liked. Should have gotten out earlier, back at this levels here, but I didn't have anything set up, wasn't watching it as carefully. So we'll see how that goes. And then odd CHF. Just waiting for this one to roll over as well. We are in a pretty strong daily slash, weekly area. If you look at taking into considering all that, jump out to the weekly. It's like that's a really strong weekly area. So it's likely that we're going to see something out of this. And so all this will hopefully play out. It just might take longer than normal. Looks like we're getting a rejection on the weekly. So just waiting for this to close, wait for it to open up next week, create a top wick, and then hopefully fall over. So by all technicality, price should not go higher than that. So that's the ultimate high right there. So we'll watch that one. Price is still trickling up, but once again, we could get it to roll over. And that'll be it for now. All right, gonna enjoy some lunch and then get back to work. Just had a bunch of stuff go off. So I had set up like 9 or 10 different alerts for different things, most of which were looking for entries like this. I know I just talked about this a second ago in regards to like this head and shoulders possible pattern. And so the 4-hour setup, we have a small wick rejection, come into this area here, go down to the 5 minutes. And what would we be looking for? We'd be looking for pop down, come back up here to this area here, give me a little bit of rejection, and then once price breaks through here, come in for a sell. Or price pulls up a little bit higher, pops down, enter here for a sell. So we'll see how that goes. I'm gonna leave that alert going there. Euro NZD or Euro USD, same thing. We had a zone here. We had a zone here. And it's like, okay, what do we expect? If price is going to continue up, rejecting this area here, then we would want price to come into this level after it creates its top wick. I want it to come down in here, close below this one. So come up, create this area here, come all the way down. This would be a nice area to start rejecting. Once it does, break the high there and continue up. Or come all the way down, come past a little bit past this level, or even retest this level, and then come in for an entry here. So that is that for Euro USD. Let me mark the areas that I'm expecting price to do something at. Want to close above that. So now we can get rid of that guy. GBP CAD, same thing. We have this uptrend. We've rejected this area here. It's not really a strong area. Sure, you could draw something if you could draw right there. Possibly, bounce there, attempt to retest, full break upon. So, okay, cool, sure. Really, it's about the oops. It's about the idea behind the process instead of just the process itself. So drop down to the 5 minutes. Same thing. What do we want to see? I want to see it come up here, come down, test, break above the high, and go. Or come all the way down here someplace, enter there, and then go. And we'll see how that works out. So same thing. Want a entry into this here. CAD JPY. I don't know why CAD JPY went off twice. That works. I'll take it. Same thing. We have a small rejection area right there. So zoom in, do what I plan to do. Down to the 5 minutes. I'm just keep planning out the trades. What I'd like to see, what I want for, or come all the way up in here, come down, play in there, and then continue on. So this This would be nice if it could definitely come down lower and break out of that little uptrend right there. Um, so what I want to see is come back and look at, see what this does. If it comes across this area, who knows? It might just plummet from here. That was CAD JPY, CHF JPY. Oh, maybe it wasn't two of them. I just read them too fast. So this is a different one. This is a continuation. So we've already had a rejection. And so with that, I'm expecting the next candle also be bearish. So I want someplace within this level here. Still dropping down to the 5-minute. This one I look a little bit something for more for structure. It's not the cleanest structure. This would be the cleanest area right there. So we'll be testing that body area. So yeah, let's do that. So I'll be looking for something like that. What I'd like to see is probably a test down there, come up here, pause for a little bit. Oh, you gave me the wrong entry. Stop, wrong arrow. Come down, pause for a little bit before coming down to enter there and take off. Or I will take even a fuller, more higher push and come down in and play around here for a little bit before it comes down and looks for entry at the flip of the candle. So bar close. This one broke above this level. I believe I was looking earlier on like the 1 hour for what it looked like, but I wanted a 4-hour close above this level. We finally gotten one. And so the question is, what are we going to get now? Are we going to get a pullback continuation? About 50%. Drop down to the 5. What does that look like? See, so if we continue on with this uptrend here, that price is respected. Continue on with this 5-minute level here, then that's exactly what I'd like to see. I'd like to see price wick down into this area here. I only want to touch it. Wick down to this area here so I can come back and look. But what I'd like to see is price has made a nice higher high there. I'd like it to maybe come up a little bit more, then come back down and look for an entry there. Or once again, come down a little bit further. That'll be a deeper push once we get into there. Definitely want to do it on the flip and up to that level there. So we'll see how that works. And then USD CHF. We push directly into that level right there, looking for a possible rejection of this area right there. Not to say that that's the, obviously that's not being respected as a possible downtrend. Is this more of what the downtrend looks like? If that's the case, we're still below it. So we're still looking good. Question is, what are we going to get when we get here? So do it again. Kick over, draw my zones, plan the trade. See, we've already had it pushed down. That's nice. I wanted to pull back here and come back down, break below this low, and then continue on. Or even another wick up this high, break down, and continue on. So I'll just take a wick touch, which may happen way too soon, but it is what it is. I'll take some sort of wick touch into this area right now. Go look at these guys for a second. That's already set up. That one. Did I leave that line on there? Nope, I just have that one set. And that one's done too. And we're good to go. And that's pretty much that. Yeah, JPY alerted. Hit this area here. Let's see, we still got half the time of this candle closure. So we'll be looking for a break of the lows somewhere around there. Although I actually got to break the lows, don't I? And then just to place the wick. I mean, if this is the wick, it should just turn and go, right? If it comes all the way back down here and then enters, shouldn't come back up here within the next hour. 4 hours, 4 hour candle. So now that we got that going, I'll put that in there. Did set up the other trade for, is it NZDCHF? Let's look at that for a second. So set that guy up. Looking to see, because it's just gone away. Looking to see if maybe it was going to create, I put a little alert here for the hour, which closes in about 18 minutes, to see if this was going to create some sort of like an hourly double top or something, which looks like it could be playing out. could be having a rejection here. So if this will break down and then start creating some downtrend structure, this will look really solid. This is already set up though, as far as the sell stops in place, as well as the I have a stop loss above there. Uh, where will it go? Well, really, I don't need it to go far. I just needed to come down just a hair. I think we've talked about it before in regards to, like, you got all of this impulse right here, clear all the way down that way with a little bit of headache area room right there. Probably if you look on the 1 hour, you see it a little bit clearer. There we go. So if we can come down here and this enters and everything like that, I don't see why it shouldn't just go ahead and trail all the way down to this area right here. So we'll see how that goes. And until then, CAD JPY, I'll probably go ahead and get this one set up. Once again, looking like this, I'll see once price actually starts to pull away from this area. Once price actually starts, I'll have the there we go. This is the close below alert, right? Yep. So once per bar close, if this happens, it'll come down here. I'll be able to see where the actual stop loss is actually going to be at, and then the entries will be there. If it actually goes up a little bit further, then I might take an immediate entry as price is gone, wicked up higher. So I don't know. I'll see about getting close to that. We'll leave it there. So yeah, that's that. Get rid of that trade, that alert, and then just continuing on with the day. Back to work. Quick snapshot. Here we are back. Just got to close above this area here. What are we waiting on? Well, would be waiting on something lower, right? Because price came down, dipped. Now we have a high there. So have to come back just like the other one. And once price actually closes below this level, that'll let us know whether or not this level is actually tested or not, or if it went higher. If it goes higher, then that would let me know to get in here. If not, you need to break this low here. So that'll be the current plan. Oh, man, these things are a mess. So if price comes up there, that's what we'll see. We will hopefully see price come up and give, oh, that's black. That's not helpful. Candle up there, and then we'll have some candles down, all the way down. Where to? Well, let's see. That level will be nice. So let's go there. NZD-CHF just went off on the hourly. So that's that 1 hour close. So we can come take a look and see. Yeah, and it looks like we've had a close on the 1 hour, which looks like it closed with a wick. It's getting kind of messy here to be able to see it, but if we can, let's see if we can zoom in here. So yeah, we have a wick here, wick there. So basically what do I expect? I expect the 1 hour candle to come create its wick, its top wick, and then roll over. So really I want to see a break and close below here. And that'll keep this trade open. We'll see where it goes. So we're coming up to the end of the day. I mean, I got 458. I've already closed off the other trade that I was looking. Which one was it? Let's take a look at it. I don't remember which one it was. Let's go to these 5-minute things. Yeah. So this is the one I was looking at, seeing if it was going to come back down, create the wick, respecting this level here on the 4 hour. It does not look like that is going to happen. Looks like it's actually going to bounce up. So clear that out, clear all that out, basically get rid of this whole entire thing and just let it go. And look for this higher high here. So we'll look for something like that. Once price gets into this level here, preferably something like that. Granted, whoa, 5 o'clock happened. Oh, did we hit 5 already? We did hit 5. So cool. So a lot of things have closed already, but spreads have widened. Not really too concerned about getting trades that way. So I'll be looking there. That'll be a good spot. Let's go check these guys out. So USD CAD is closed into the zone here, so it hasn't really broken it yet. So what I'd still like is for price to leave this area here and then come back. Once it does, then we'll get an alert. I'm going to delete this alert now. Because even then we don't have a good we don't have a rejection there whatsoever. So like I said, what I like to see is price to come down here. Once it does, then I'll come and reset this alert up again. Looking to the left, what do we have? We have these lows down here, which price could get to. Let's encapsulate that area there. So if price can pop down here and then come back up that way, I'll put it about halfway between these two zones. Then that'll be a good spot to look at. This area up here is no longer relevant. So we'll get rid of that and look at these levels here. If for some reason price does pop up over this way, then it will readjust. That's that. JPY. Just close back into the zone here. This is just a small little zone on the daily where it's respected before. Doesn't seem to be respecting it as much here recently, so we'll have to see how that plays out. This might be one that we close early just because it's not doing anything. CAD CHF. Says it closed into a zone. Where is this zone? Entering channel. Oh, is that the channel already? No. Yep. Yeah. So it did. It entered that channel right there. No real wick rejection off of it. It is where I would like. I was expecting something a little bit down here, but on a lower level. That never played out. So we can get rid of that. We can get rid of this too. And we'll just stay up on this level here on the 4 hour. So if this closes at 9 tonight with a strong bearish candle, then what we'll look for it following 2 candle theory is we'll look for just a wick creation and then a follow through on the way down. So we'll see what that one looks like. I won't be recording at that point in time, but I'll try to follow it up tomorrow with it. Euro AUD. It's closing into this zone here. We did close with a wick, just a small wick. So let's see how this plays out. So daily level, generally for these go down to like the 20-minute, 30-minute time frame. And same thing as before, just waiting for price to come up, create a high, come down, respect this area before breaking in to go higher, or come down really low, play in this area, take an entry there, and then go up. So those would be the two things I look for. So really, I guess I would put a alert there, see how price works out. It would have to be somewhere around like 6 o'clock before 7 o'clock before I actually look at to take the trade, because with the spread, you see the spreads on the chart. If you can, basically it goes from here to here with price actually being in the middle. So you're talking about 45 pips for spreads. That's a little much. But banker hours, that's what you get. So that's how that will play out. See how that goes. GPCHF. I was way up there. What are you doing up there? We close in this area. Prices come down already, so don't really have much. It's actually traveled a whole lot already. Why is that? Yeah, price just plummeted. So this would have been, we were looking for this on a buy for price to come up this way. Price never actually came when you look on the 5-minute. We were looking at a break above this area and then just a wick creation and a flip. It flipped. It went good up to the area we would have targeted, but no entry. No entry there. So what's the next option? Well, depending on how this candle closes, if we get a rejection here, we could be looking at a candle down. Taking the daily into consideration though, like we have been slowly trending upwards. So I don't expect this to hold. I sort of expect it to come back up to this area before we fall away from it. So with that being said, would this be a good sell? I don't know. We can play the support and resistance range, see where it goes. I'll look at it when it comes across. We have another one here. This is one as well. We were waiting for a sell on this one. Price finally did come up, spiked at the close of the candle. So this would have already been too late into the process. But basically, we were waiting for that low to be created, come back up here into this area and pause for a little while before flipping the other direction. This would have been the area since we didn't actually make it higher. So nothing there, and it doesn't look like it is rolling over anytime soon. So that would be the 2-candle theory, which we didn't get triggered into a trade, so we didn't lose. So it's all is good. Coming back up into this level now. What does this look like? Let's get this all cleared up. Take a look at the charts again. So we have this zone here, but we have been slowly just making higher highs, higher lows all the way up it. So it's a good possibility this might break up above. Once it does, we can look for a retest of this area and go for that. So I will put a right there. There's an alert there, and we'll see how that goes. This should be a daily alert. We're good there. There's really nothing else. Price would really have to scream away from this area before I looked at it again as a possible sell. So we'll have to see. So yeah, that's currently that. And then there's another area up there, which I'll leave alone. And then we did have this go off. This was, so we wanted price to come down in here. It did. So basically we'd be waiting for a close above that. There's the wick creation. If this is going to enter, we'd be above this high right there. Where's the wick? Right there, a little bit beyond the wick, just in case it comes back and retests. With the spreads being so high, once again, though, it's like this stop loss area is pretty much the entire spread area. So this would not be a smart trade to get into at this point in time. But you can still look at the process and see, okay, does it make sense though when you trade this way? Does it work out? Granted, you wouldn't trade around this time, but let's see. So I'll leave this one here. What are we expecting? We're expecting just a bounce out of this. We've had a couple rejection of this area here, pause, and now we're expecting price to continue up. So we'll see how this actually plays out. And yeah, let me just clean that up, and we'll just leave it alone. So once price hits this area up there, then we'll consider it. We'll consider it a trade that would have taken if it wasn't for spreads, and then we'll go from there. Um, so closing that out, and that pretty much covers everything for the evening. Um, I'm about done for the workday, and we got a couple other things going on, but I appreciate you tuning in. And next time, I will hopefully be able to place actually a couple trades. If everything sets up, then I'll be ready for them.